Hello, folks. A real pleasure to have Clare Henry today. She's a senior marketing executive at SAP, and we're going to be talking about the big event next week in Orlando. Clare, it's so nice of you to join me.
Thank
Introduce yourself, and then we'll talk about big shindig in Orlando.
Exactly. So I think you did a great introduction. Yeah, I'm part of the marketing and solutions board area at SAP. I'm part of our communications. I lead our global analyst relations program. I also spend a lot of time on content and looking at things like Sapphire. So I wear a couple dual hats and I'm having a great time, Vinnie.
It doesn't sound like you have any time for any fun. So hopefully that'll be fun.
It
So,
will be.
so the theme on your website says future proof. Talk a little bit about the keynote, some of the main content you're going to have there, and then we'll talk about some of the fun stuff too.
Yeah, that'd be great. Vinnie, just stepping back a little bit, it's 3 years have been really challenging for everybody, I think, in the world. And, it started with the pandemic, and then we have, geopolitical tension, a lot of economic uncertainty. And so, we want to acknowledge that. At the same time, we know our customers really want inspiration. And, when we think about future proof, it is not just like holding and white knuckling and hoping that you can handle what's coming at you. When we think about future proof, it's actually about having the right teams in place, the right systems, the right partnerships in place, so that you're not just holding steady when things come at you, you're actually thriving. And so I'm super excited to see the community come together at Sapphire. And I think you'll see so many great conversations between partners and customers and SAP leaders about how we're working together to really tackle what's next and what's coming at us. Sneak preview in the keynote, there's an opening video. I can't give it away, but it's very inspirational. There's a lot of what we like to say, quiet drama in this video. So stay tuned on that one.
So Mission Impossible type drama?
I wouldn't call it Mission Impossible, but
no, I'm looking forward to that. So put yourself in the attendees' shoes. Now, there are different personas to the attendees there. Some are partners, some are customers, some are media analysts, etc. Put yourself in the analyst shoe, in the attendee shoes. What are you trying to? How do you want to make their experience really beneficial?
Well, I think the SAP team has done a great job of really thinking through so many elements of the experience. And let's just step back a minute. Yes, we have a beautiful on-site in-person event in Orlando, Florida, starting next Tuesday, May 16th. It's just a 2-day event because we've heard a lot of feedback like, hey, can really only take 2 days out of my office. I really, after this third day, the value started going. So we've really condensed it to 2 days. But equally important, we've learned a lot in the last couple of years about virtual. We know so many customers now have an accessible access to Sapphire if we create a great virtual experience. Before the pandemic, Vinnie, there were a lot of people who wanted to attend, and maybe they couldn't because of budget. They couldn't get time off of work. There were already 3 people from their company going. So we've put equal emphasis into a fantastic virtual experience. It's going to be more like a television show with great opportunities to have engagement and meet fellow folks from around the world. So it's really important that. So we've got equal. Virtual will just be in the Orlando experience. So you'll see it in person and virtual. And then we go the next week, we're going to be in Barcelona for another in-person experience. And then the following week, first part of June, we'll be in Sao Paulo.
Wow. So I'm looking forward to how you do the hybrid. A lot of events have tried the hybrid, but the virtual has always been a little bit like, kind of. So looking forward to what you have done. Sounds like
we finally call it, first class experience for our virtual attendees as well.
Well, that's fantastic. I mean, ending the pandemic, so maybe it'll be an inspiration to others, but I'm glad you're doing it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the show floor. That's usually, the big deal for partners, but people just enjoy that. You guys are very creative with the centerpiece, all the robotics and all that. So tell me what we're going to see this year, if you can give that away.
Well, we're going to showcase the show floor right away. Christian Klein's keynote starts the first thing Tuesday morning, and he'll be joined by Julia White and partners and customers. It's just a very rich keynote, really bringing that community aspect together right away. Julia, in her first part of that, will be on the show floor because we expect attendees, maybe 1,000 or so in the room with Christian Klein. We expect them to be watching from all over, including right from the showcase floor. Our special showcase this year is called Farm to Consume. And Julia White will be in that showcase along with a partner, and they'll be talking about, how do you ensure that your supply chain is resilient and it meets all of the needs of your constantly changing consumer preferences? So they'll start with kind of really that personal experience and then showing how you can have a resilient supply chain, and whether that is my taste preferences have changed or I want to make sure I'm working with sustainable suppliers. So it's a fantastic showcase with Julie and a customer. And so, but the audience will have an opportunity to be right there. And then of course, there are so many great partners highlighted throughout the showcase. I mean, the entire show floor. So it's just a great experience. You can actually see the whole entire keynote sitting right there, but you also have lots of time throughout the 2 days just to go wander.
Well, your strength are your verticals, and I'm glad agribusiness and CPG and all that is going to get a showing. So that's great.
Thank you.
Sounds like your virtual is going to be, like you say, much higher level than others. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. In fact, we were in our rehearsal yesterday for that. We're like, okay, will this show up well on the virtual? It has to be equal experience on the virtual.
Great. What else?
Well, I think if you just step back, we are so excited. One of the things that Sapphire always does is it gives us this opportunity to bring the community together. Our partners, our customers, our SAP leaders, and there's just so much value in that. And so, we're excited to demonstrate and highlight innovation through the eyes of customers, through the work we're doing with so many partners and customers. And of course, you're going to see, two really big themes throughout. You're going to see a lot about what we're doing in sustainability, where, people have set really great goals for sustainability. It's now time to really help our customers realize those goals and what's SAP's role there. And then of course, AI. Everybody's talking about AI. So we'll have just a lot of rich content and talking about the innovations we've made in AI. So you can expect those two themes throughout, as well as, all the customer success. You'll see in Scott's keynote, which is day 2, talking so much about customer success through RISE and our new program Grow. So really seeing how customers are making that transformation. So it's just super cool. And then I just got to make a shout out, Vinnie, for the other 2 keynotes, because they're fantastic. So day 1, we start with Christian, appearances with customers and Julia White. And then that afternoon, Thomas Sauer-Essig and Jürgen Mueller have a keynote, and there's all about innovation. It's the innovation keynote. Then the next morning on day 2, Scott Russell kicks it off, and he'll talk about the customer value journey and really highlighting how customers are seeing success in the cloud. And then, of course, a very inspirational closing keynote by Serena Williams, who I think, of course, is the best athlete in the entire world.
Wow. And then you also probably have some entertainment, right? So as usual.
Probably there's going to be some entertainment. You probably know more than me, but everybody will gather at Universal Studios. Vinnie, you probably are closer to the rumor mill on that one than I am.
I'm closer to it distance-wise, but no, I usually skip that. But
okay,
well, it's good for attendees enjoy it, and it brings out the camaraderie, and yeah.
That's right. That's right. So Vinnie, I need to ask you a few questions. For me.
Oh my God! Put me on the hot seat.
I'm going to put you on the spot. I don't want it to be all one way. So for me, this is my first Sapphire. Unfortunately, I've been with SAP for over 2 years now. Unfortunately, due to some unforeseen circumstances, I had to miss it at the last minute last year. But for you, you've been to many Sapphires. So share with me, one of your greatest memories of Sapphire.
Oh God, just one?
Maybe 2, but let's start with one.
One of the best things as an analyst used to be Hasso Plattner would love to meet us at Sapphire. So he'd take an hour out, meet with 5 or 6 of us, and oh my God, we'd walk out of there, and every PR person would be chasing her down. You cannot quote that. You cannot quote that. It was a no hold barred kind of conversation with Hasso. So that was always a pleasant memory, from a content perspective. But the show floor, used to be, just getting a chance to meet so many people, right? The ecosystem is so large. Getting a chance to meet them was fantastic. I'll be honest. I missed the big Sapphire in Orlando. I used to call it the Paris Air Show of the enterprise software industry. That's the place where everyone would come. Even ordinary tourists would come in and just see, wow, this is a big industry. Deals would get done, right? So I missed the big Sapphire, but I understand why you moved to multiple locations and so on. But
Yeah.
lots of pleasant memories, a lot of, written a lot of content that came out of Sapphire, or meeting people, and then later on I'd interview them and so on. So it's always been a great event.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I think we're all kind of in that space of I kind of long for the, the goodness of the old we just got to be so many people, and the excitement and the pragmatic of, you actually can reach more people virtually and so forth. So we're all kind of in this place. I always say, keep new friends, or make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other is gold. So we're this kind of time of figuring out what this virtual and hybrid experience looks like.
Well, any more questions of me?
Yeah. So tell me what you're looking forward to this year.
So last year, I helped Thomas and Peter Meyer on a book.
Oh, nice.
So,
that's right.
So that was a kickoff for the book. I met so many of the industry leads, and it was great to just shake their hands and say, "Hey, we'll be in touch." Just get some initial groundwork done. This year, I don't have a book, so I will be, looking for a lot of content in different areas. AI will be a great one. Clearly your agribusiness. I've interviewed Anya before, who leads that IBU. Hopefully I'll get a chance to meet her again. So, there's a lot of different things, partners and so on, that I'm looking forward to meeting again.
That's great. Yeah. I think you'll see a lot of, I think the industry pieces will really shine brightly for you as well this year. It's amazing what great industry representation we have. And how many of those industries are coming together with us, not just like in the traditional CIO role, but like CFO, chief, digital officer. So it's going to be really exciting. And yes, you're right. The show floor really highlights our strength in industry.
It's usually you're so exhausted every evening, but you feel good at the end of it. Oh my God, we picked up so many contacts, so much information. So, looking forward to it.
Okay, for attendees Vinnie, who may have this be their first Sapphire, how many miles would you expect them to walk each day?
Assuming their hotel is nearby, I would say 4 to 5 miles. And then if
4 to 5 miles?
Yeah, I mean, easily, because just international drive up and down is a lot of walking. It's a bit like Vegas. The conventions in Vegas tend to involve a lot of walking. Difference being, this is outside. Most of the walking is outside, so hopefully it'll be pleasant weather. But the Orange County Convention Center is mammoth, so there's a lot of walking right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of walking.
I won't scare off a few people, but I would say 4 to 5 miles.
Okay.
I get my 1,000 steps a day very easily.
Okay, so you're saying I should wear tennis shoes and not heels, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay. I'm in on the tennis shoes because I've had more shoes ruined in Florida walking, because all of a sudden you get the downpour of the heavy rain. So I'm in on the tennis shoes, Vinnie. I'm all in on the tennis shoes.
And maybe include, if you need a formal set of shoes, just carry a small bag. And
hey, I can wear the jacket and the tennis shoes. I'm good with that. So
that's perfect. That is ideal.
Okay. Anything else that you're excited for?
Just like you say, so many people have been absent because of the pandemic. So it'll be good to see people back. The energy of getting people together again is going to be nice to see.
Great. Well, Vinnie, I look forward to seeing you next week as well. This is going to be a great show, and I'm looking forward to seeing you. We get to see each other a day early. We're going to have some fun on Monday.
Well, Claire, thank you for taking the time. I know this is an extremely busy week for you, but thank you for sharing a sneak preview with my audience. And, I'm sure there'll be a lot of content coming out of this.
Great. Thanks, Vinnie.
Thank you. And that was a nice overview from Claire about what to expect next week. And especially her reminder that if you're coming there in person, to pack comfortable shoes. That's a lot of walking in Orlando. And I have a reminder too. I'm hosting Peter Meyer on Wednesday at 1 p.m. in the ASAP track on the book Business as Unusual that he co-authored and that I help with do the interviews and writing and so on. And it's about a world that has been turned upside down in the last few years as a result of COVID, climate change emergency, the Ukraine crisis, and also all the massive digital transformations that we've done in the last few years. And that has affected every single industry. So we'll be talking about a number of vertical applications, new applications that we couldn't have imagined 3-4 years ago. Now they've become necessary, viable in many of those industries. So it's a 40-minute session, should be packed with all kinds of examples. And Peter is so knowledgeable about SAP's customer base around the world in different industries and so on. So if you can, join us next Wednesday, 1 p.m. in the ASAP track.